Two of the biggest problems I encounter on a daily basis are that of stress and anxiety. Quite often people confuse the two, thinking that they're one and the same, but actually they're very different. Stress can lead to anxiety, but stress in itself really is an overload. It's when too much is being expected of us or we try to do too much. Anxiety, on the other hand, is more of a fear, but it's a fear of the unknown. If you go into any situation in life fearing something, but knowing what it is that you fear, knowing that something isn't going to go particularly the way you want it to go, for instance, well then we can always plan for that thing. We can plan how we're going to react, and ultimately we can cope with the situation. But if we're just afraid of something and we're not sure what that something is, well then it's impossible to plan for it. And if we can't plan for it, then we don't know how we're going to react. And if we don't know how we're going to react, then ultimately we fear we're going to lose control. And nobody likes to lose control. There are two ways of thinking about any situation that you go into. The good way and the bad way, I guess. The bad way is to worry about all the things that might go wrong, but probably won't. Whereas the good way is to actually think about the way you want things to go, to plan them out in your mind exactly the way you want things to go, and that way not worry about all the things that may go wrong. Have you ever found yourself worried to death about something, and then when that something has happened, wondering afterwards what it was you were worried about? Because it's true that as soon as something happens, whether we worry about it or we don't worry about it, it instantly becomes a thing of the past, a thing of yesterday or last week or last year. And often we do wonder why we ever worried. Under hypnotherapy, it will enable the hypnotist to change the way that we feel about certain thoughts, because everything we do is driven by a thought. So rather than worrying about the things that may go wrong, we can replace that thought with a positive outlook, thinking about things the way we want them to go. And you'd be surprised, but more often than not, by thinking in this way, that's exactly the way that things will happen. And the things that we used to fear will no longer be a worry. In fact, the anxiety will become a thing of the past.